get into it. Let's get to this Bill Evans piece. All right, so this Bill Evans piece is called 5, but basically the first thing to understand is the chord structure. Every time I approach a song when I'm analyzing music, I'm trying to understand, okay, what is the piece? What's the harmonic changes? And then also what is going on, whether the artist actually playing. So let's first start dive into the harmonic structure. Okay, so 5 is just basically rhythm changes. Okay, for anybody who don't know, one of the most important forms in jazz, as when you first learn jazz piano in school, when you learn jazz piano, the first thing we had to learn is how to play a blues and what is rhythm changes. Okay, so what is rhythm changes? Rhythm changes, and I looked it up because I wanted to give you guys some good information. Okay, I just want to give a great definition of it. Rhythm changes is a chord progression that was derived from George Gershwin's "I've Got Rhythm," and here it is right here. And so later on, people began to take that chord progression that George Gershwin had and understand this, and then put different melodies on top. So then, and it became this thing called rhythm change. The next thing is, what is the chord progression? Well, here is a basic chord progression. I'm going to put it up here on the screen here. And this is just the basic chord progression. As you can see, it goes from 1, then it goes to the 6, and then it goes to the 2, and then it goes to the 5, and then so on and so forth. And this is the key that Bill Evans is doing. This is in B flat, which is also important. So now that we understand the chord structure, that he's doing rhythm changes, the same exact progression in the key of B flat. Now let's get into his lines. So what Bill does is that big principle, a pattern that I've seen in his solo is that he loved to use just simple ideas. And this is one of the biggest things that I'm going to deal with the video today is how to develop lines right out of the chord, straight from the chord. So let's look at measure 1. Here we go. Right there, you see there's nothing deep going on there. There's nothing big going on there. If you look at it, the first few notes is a F, A, C. All right. And the F, A, C, the first chord that's supposed to be in our chord progression is a B flat chord. A B flat chord, if we spell that B flat chord, is a B flat, D, F, A. That's a B flat major 7. And look at this. We have F, A, C. It's right out of the B flat chord. If that C is the 9th. So you got, if you spell a B flat chord all the way out, B flat, D, F, A, and C. Well, he's using the F, A, and C of that chord. So that makes a lot of sense. If you go to the next beat, they're supposed to be in our chord progression. It falls on the G minor on beat 3. Well, look where he starts at. He starts at a B flat, then he goes to a D, then he goes to an F, and then back to a D. B flat, D, F. Well, what is that? That is spelling out a G minor chord because you got G in the bass, the B flat is the 3rd, the D is the 5th, and then the F is the 7th. Already, we see that he's not doing anything deep. He's taking the chord, a B flat chord, and then just playing the chord tones. And then for the G minor, he took the fell on beat 3. Well, he played the chord tones that's associated with G minor. Okay, you see the same thing if we go to measure 2. I told you we're going to go to measure 2. Look at measure 2. It's the same thing. It goes for E flat, G, and then B flat at the first 3 notes. And look what happens. It's on a C minor chord. So that's the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th of a C minor chord. As you can see, there's nothing crazy going on here, and that's the biggest thing about transcriptions. You see the simplicity. A lot of times what makes a strong solo, remember this, and what we pulling from Bill Evans right now is that is to have the chord tones on the strong beats, meaning beats 1, beat 2. Look at measure 1 again. We have a chord tone on beat 1. We have another chord tone on beat 2, another chord tone on beat 3, another chord tone on beat 4. Of those chord tones is landing right in spot, and not even just a chord tone, but strong chord tones. We have either falling on the root, the 3rd, the 5th. At measure 7, we have the exact, 1, 2, 3, actually measure 4. Here we have an E flat, G, B flat, D. That's a C, that's not a C minor chord. It's a C minor 9. That E flat is the 3rd, and that G is going to the 5th. B flat is the 7th, and the D is the 9. And then look at that next on measure 4. It resolves to a F7. Look what he played: C A F E flat. That's an F7 chord. Nothing deep. There is no extensions to this. There is no fancy chord color to this. It's just the basic of chords. Again, so if you spell out your chords, if you understand, the more you understand chords, the more you could do, and it don't have to be complicated. And that's the biggest thing I wanted to kind of pull out from this. So what can you do to apply this? You know, take a song and then take the chord, look at the chord structure, look at what chord comes there, and then say, okay, what tones belong in that chord. As simple as that. Not extensions, not, well, I don't mean to say extensions, but not colorful tones. It could be just as simple as the 3rd, 5th, and 7th, and 9th. That's what Bill used so far in this first part of the solo. It's just 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, and the 9th. He was just dealing with those chord tones, and he used unique and interesting ways to illustrate that. For example, just in those few measures, you got a lot of information to chew on, a lot of information to work out. So work it out, okay? Go wherever piece you're working on, look at the chord, look at the transcription, see how Bill took those chord tones and then made it interesting. And that's your job. So that's what I want you guys to work on. That's what I'm working on. And let's just continue to grow together. Again, if you have any questions, DM me about this video. Also, you could check out these transcriptions on Instagram. Also, you could check out these transcriptions on my Sound Slice page. There's a link in my bio that would lead you right to my Sound Slice page. It's for free. Also, I'm just giving you guys information. I'm just trying to help and share. You can slow down the transcriptions. The transcriptions will actually be there online. So there's no sign up. Shout out to Sound Slice, by the way. Check them out. They're great. That's the tool I use for transcribing. All right, so I'm going to be back with more videos on this transcription because there's a lot more that Bill Evans did. I just started off simple. So I'll see you guys later.